Let's get these big parts out of the way. And let's start with this piece here. So this is action panel right, I think. So we drop an M3 nut right in this slot here for the beginning. Put it down. Take the safety button, the safety spacer, and the safety block. Get one of the countersunk head screws. This is an M3 by 14, I think. Get a nut, fit it in the slot in the block here, like this. I hope you can see here. And put it with a small tab facing front. Put the spacer in the slot. Put the safety button over it and screw this in. You can tighten this screw down, and by tightening this you can adjust the tension on the button, so how hard it will be to push the button up and down to engage or disengage the safety. Do not over tighten it. So it will work like this. Let's tighten it a little bit more. So now it stays in place when you move it. So we'll let it like this right now. The next thing, you'll get your triggers. Put them one over another. So here, the big one is the top barrel, and the little smaller one is for the lower barrel. They will be on top of each other like this. Doesn't really matter which one is on the left, which one is on the right. You can set them as you want. So, but the back trigger will be for the top barrel. Take this part, that's action panel left, I think it's called. Make sure that you have the big holes towards you and put it over this here. Take M3 by 20 countersunk head screw. Put it here, like in the back hole. Screw it in. And make sure you fit a nut on the other side. This hole, make sure that the nut is fully seated in the bottom of the hole, because this one it's a little bit deeper than the other. Tighten it like this. Until the nut is fully seated on the bottom of the hole with its slot. Yeah. Should look like this. Next, take another M3 by 20, the same. fit your triggers in. The first one and the second one, they go on top of each other. Make sure they are not binding. You should clean all your parts of the edges and elephant's foot or whatever artifacts you may get in the printing process. Make sure you get through the trigger holes. Yeah. This one will not have a knot on that side because it doesn't need to be tight. It just needs to act like a pivot for the triggers. So do not over tighten it, just make it flush with this side here. After each step, you should just make sure that your parts are working and not binding, like triggers and stuff. So put this down. Now take your firing pins, that's two blocks, little blocks. The bigger one is for the top, the smaller one is for the bottom. Take your two pins. They are 2.5 by 30 millimeters long, and feed them in the holes of the printed firing pin parts, like this. This will be press fit. So make sure that they will be in the bottom of the holes. Again, this one here. They should be equal. So this way you make sure that they are both at the same length. Take your bridge. Now, this part. Take your two big springs, feed them in these holes here, and again put the top firing pin, like the bigger block, with the metal pin facing the being on the top part, and feed them through the springs. Another thing, this is a good idea to send the layer lines down, because these parts needs to slide freely back and forth like this, you know. The second firing pin, put it in the bottom. Again, make sure it slides freely. Keep them in place. Make sure your trigger is back. Your safety is back. Press the triggers to help you with keeping the firing pins in place as you assemble the action. So keep them a little bit pressed here. These parts, so the triggers will press here, and just fit it like this. You guessed it, take another M3 by 20 from here, fit it in this pocket, Make sure you don't forget to fit it with another nut on the right side, like this. And again, test your triggers. Now you already need to have a working part like the back trigger and the front trigger, so the pins will protrude in the front of the breech. Check your safety. That should block the triggers. Get it back, it works. Now it's not working. Okay. The last thing we need to do to the breech is assemble the barrel locking lever. So take your small spring, it's the same spring but a little shorter. Put it in this slot. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Take your barrel latch, that's this small part, put it in its corresponding slot. Make sure it slides freely. For all these moving parts you need to, you'll need to sand them down a little bit just to make sure they are smooth and slide freely. Take your second countersunk head screw, like this one. Put it here in the slot. And screw it in, but not too much. Okay. It just needs to sit somehow flush with this lever. Do not over tighten it, because if you over tighten this, it will block the lever. Also, it will protrude in the spring chamber here. And so make sure again everything is working fine. Check the lever. As you move the lever left or right, this latch should get back, should retract to the breech. Okay. Also, the lever should spring back if you let it loose. What else should we do? Let's assemble the pistol grip. So make sure you have all the nuts here. Slide your pistol grip like this over it. Take another M3 by 20. Not countersunk, the socket head. Sorry. Screw it in. Again, this one will tap in the plastic. You don't need to over tighten it because it's just it acts like a pin. Doesn't need to be extra tight. Okay. Take another, the same screw, put it here. In the pistol grip you'll have two slots, not in the back one, but in the front one you should put this screw. Okay. Tighten it down, not really much. This one will fit in the nut that you first place on the action panel right, I think it's called the part. Okay, so you'll have something like this. Again, next, take your trigger guard, put it over. This time you'll need an M3 by 10, just a short one here. Okay, put it in the front hole of the trigger guard. Let me use the driver here. Sorry. And put it in its corresponding slot here. get another 3x20, put it in the back hole this time, and screw it down. So until now it will be the same for any configuration that you want to do. Make sure again that your triggers work, that your safety works, and also the barrel latch, and you just can set this to the side for now. Next, we should assemble the barrels. So this one is the breech, not the breech, sorry, the chambers it's called. Make sure you have all these parts smooth here, because these will need to slide freely over your extractor here, like this. Okay. So this one is the centerpiece for any barrel configuration that you want to do. Okay. For now, let's put this small piece, like I think they are rib connectors, this small hourglass shape, and fit one of these here in this slot. I hope you can see what I'm doing here. And make sure it's fully seated. Okay. Now, take your tube. This is electrical tubing. The outside diameter is 25 millimeters, the inside is 23. Okay, so you get it in the hardware store, but the dimensions are really important, because if the dimensions are off, they will not fit. Okay, so for these two barrels, you'll need to fit them with those pieces. The chamber extenders are called. Okay, these ones will get the tubing to your shell diameter, so your shells will not wobble in the chambers. Okay, put them in the barrels and they're just press fit. Okay, so we'll have something like this. Next, just take your chamber part and fit your barrels in with the chamber extenders inside. So you don't need to worry when you're cutting this electrical tubing. You don't need to worry too much about them being straight, because this one will compensate the differences. But you need to be sure that they are burr free. Okay, so fit one on top, press it. I'm gonna do this off camera because it takes a little bit of force. Okay, so we'll have it like this. Do the same with the second barrel. Put it in the bottom hole, press it in place. You can put your finger through the holes and make sure they are fully seated. You don't feel the difference too much. Okay, so you have this. Next, take one M3 by 25, put it in this hole from one side, screw it in, and on the other side fit it with an M3 nut. Now you can tighten this until you hear a small crack. Okay, this is a kind of print in place design. You have, I hope you can see the line here, you have two clamps that are built in the chambers. Tightening this down will just crack the little parts and tighten the barrels inside, so your electrical tubing with the chamber extenders will not slide out. Okay. Next, you have this Foregrip base that you'll have to screw in. Put it over one of the bottom barrel and slide it just over this part. Take another 3x20, put it into place and screw it down. Like here. It's a little bit of an uncomfortable position to screw it. Anyways, you can do it before assembling the barrels. It's not a big deal in the order for these parts. So now you should have this flush here. Next, takes this spacer. I don't know what it's called. Maybe I'll put on text on the video. So put it with, you see it's somehow H-shaped. With the smaller parts you put it on top, okay? So you just slide it between the barrels and press it here, like this. This, again, it will be your extractor. Make sure you sand the sides down so it will move freely, so it doesn't bind in the slot. Take your smaller spring, that's literally a pen spring, and your another M3x25 screw. Put the screw through the bigger hole here with this little lip that will catch on the rim of your shells, and so it will protrude a lot on this side. Put your spring over it, match it with the side in the chambers, it will work like this. Press it down to be flush here. And screw this bolt in, but don't tighten it too much. It just needs to be flush with the breech face here. Or maybe another turn here. So now you have your extractor. So when you press it down, it should spring back. Okay. Next, take another one of these small connectors and put it in this part that's front clamp. Fit it in here, slide it just over your barrels. Oh, sorry. First, you need to put your middle ribs. So these segments you can print as many as you want to. This part will just slide and stay between your barrels. Okay, so they will leave like this, they are not following. Put your front clamp over it, fit it like this, and now put your top ribs that I previously fitted with one of these small hourglass connector things. Put it from the top and press it in place. You can glue it if you want to, but it's not necessarily needed. I found it that it stays just fine in the connectors without any glue or something. And finally take another top rib piece and connect it with the front one and the back one here, and just press it in place. Okay. To make sure that it doesn't fall and doesn't go anywhere, just take another M3 by 10, it's the small one, put it from the right side, fit it with a nut, make sure the nut is sitting correctly in its slot, and just tighten this down. So this clamp will just flex a little bit and will grip on the electrical tubing. So when you tighten it down, it will not go anywhere, okay? So now you have your barrel assembly mostly complete. You can let it as it is, but if you want something different, you can put your like chokes. They are not actually chokes. They are not choking anything. It's just something to end your barrels with. So they will not look weird without anything. Slide them on, and the same as for the barrels, just put another M3 by 10, put another nut on the other side and tighten it down. So now if you want to run it sawed off, this is what your barrels will look like. You can make it shorter, like just one segment. You can just cut it from here actually. Now you can just take your previously assembled the action, put it like this, and just put 2.5 millimeters by 38, I think it is. Mine it's a little bit underside because I need to take this apart to show you how to assemble the big barrel, but this is it. This is how you assemble your short version. So again, you can make sure again that everything is works fine. The barrel latch, the safety, your triggers inside. So it works the same with the bigger barrels. After you fitted your chamber extenders here, just put your barrels in, take this part out because you don't need it anymore. The first one, the second one. Just press it in, check if it's fully seated in the back of the chamber. Okay, so you have your both barrels. Now your foregrip, fit it in the bottom with one these foregrip connectors. You need 3 of these. Take a piece of tube, just put it through. Like this, flush with this one. Put it over it, slide it forward, just to act like a guide for your assembly here. Now put another connector. This one should be with the concave part to the barrel. Press it in. And take another one and put it back to back with the first one. Like this. Now you have everything done. Slide your foregrip over the bottom barrel. After it passes the middle, just take your tube out and slide it to the back. It should look like this. You slide between your barrels this piece, I don't know what it's called, Foregrip Rib Spacer or something like that. You'll find it. It's a small thing with the same profile with the middle rib. So you slide it in and put it at the end of your foregrip. Slide your middle ribs here between the barrels, the ribs, and get them together. So you press them like that and connect them. So you take your final piece and slide it in between them. Press it in place. Get the leftovers to the side and tighten the screws back. And for the chokes, for the clamp, and of course do not forget about the chambers here. You don't want your barrels to slide right off. Again, the same as the first one. Just put your barrels in the breech and put a pin through here. It may be a good idea to re-drill your holes. Do not force them, okay? Do not try to force a pin. If it doesn't fit, just re-drill the hole. Do not try to force it, because it may break. It may just separate the layers. But there you have it. That's your 3D printed double barrel over and under airsoft shotgun.